Da-da-da! What's my good cheer? Big dose of it for you guys before I go to work and expend it. And I just was shutting everything down on the computer. I says, "Oh, I'm in the mood to have a deep conversation today. Something important, something that will serve us all. And let's see where it goes." And then I'm looking at the clock and I'm going, "Oh my goodness, I got to do it in 10 minutes though." I says, "I can't do that." I started shutting everything down. And just as I was just to power out, I went, "Oh my goodness, I got to go shopping today because I've got 2 days off and I'm locking myself up in my apartment to try and get a video uploaded." I got a lot off my plate. I'm heading off to work now. It's an afternoon shift, kind of nice. So I was able to really get on top of some of those small things that we were talking about yesterday that can accumulate. So when the big thing happens, that you are not able to focus on that one thing because you got all these little issues and problems and struggles and compassionate moments that we have with our friends and family when they're going through their thing, right? That we can get spread out pretty thin. So I want to make sure, right, that I'm coming in here and I can provide that value. And I said, "Cindy, you can do it. 10 minutes, you got 10 minutes. There's a lesson out there." And I went, "Oh, yes, there is." Dee-dee. This is one of the things that is suffering in this moment. I want to be hacking away at getting these cards completed. I've got the word, so we're going to fly by our seat of our pants. We won't be getting it done this weekend. I'm editing video or hacking away at it, doing the best that I can to get something. It's my 10-year anniversary on Wednesday. If you guys want to come and hang out with me on Wednesday night, 7:30 Central, you'll get to mix a little bit with my crew, Chatters Live. And it's a good thing because they're a good thing and they chat more than I do. And if you pop in, we'll envelop you, even if you just want to come in and say hi, or even if you just want to come in and just kind of hang out in the background. I do that too, right? And that's good no matter what, as long as you're just connecting, right? And that's so important in this time. I'm so grateful for my platform, right? Because, oh my goodness, I use my work. I'm grateful that I'm welcome to a point to practice my craft at my job, because my job, right, believes in mindset, believes in second chances, it believes from learning from our mistakes. And it's really, really amazing how that whole scenario worked out for me, but it worked out perfectly, even in the scheduling of my life. Okay, you guys. First perspective. We're going to grab a word here, just a couple of minutes. I can do it. I said 10 minutes. Let's shoot for 8 and still hit home with that message, right? Still hit home with that message that will serve the majority of this crew that's going to come in, hang out today, right? Okay, here we go. Or 20 years from now, 100 years ago, from whenever you pop in, right? Let's hope this is a good one that will serve you and serve me as well. Okay, here's the card and the word we got. This is incredible, you guys. This is incredible. We did this on last week. I pulled a card from this deck. It was the only time I pulled a card from this deck. Do you guys remember what that word was? Again, that community, right? That community that each one of us wants to be a part of. Sometimes we wake up to the fact that that community is really, really small. I'm good with small communities. It allows me to make that movement forward for myself. And that movement for myself is the reward that rewards that I bring to my platform. So it's important, right? And when we have big communities, have big families, have big group church organizations and political organizations, not to mention our hobbies and our interests. I would much rather take on those hobbies and those interests that are for myself and get those working through the system, because that's what calms my system, right? And then we minimize whatever's not necessary, like the headline news, right? Going to see a doctor every time you get a boo-boo, right? And we make that little bit of movement, and you see in that evidence when we show up. Hopefully, you guys see in that evidence when I show up that it actually works, right? And it's not that painful. It's just starting, right? It's building the momentum in that. You only take what you can take, right? And I've done this in baby steps. Yes, it took me 10 years, but I did this in baby steps. And 100%, no question. I mean, for my own self, that takes a lot to be convinced, right? That belief was something that I had to grow in to because, I didn't put my trust in too many things in my own life, right? I'm a feeler, I'm an experiencer, right? And yeah, but a believer, that was something that I had to grow into. And that growing into was the evidence in my own life. And in showing up here, right? Going live, my videos where you guys can actually get a kind of a taste of the flavor of Cindy that maybe you might be able to see in that genuineness and in that evidence that it works. And the idea is to be that example. Somebody's going to start. There's lots of people out there that's starting, but somehow you guys kind of hung out with me, and I'm good with that, right? If you're good with that. And that's the community. That's the community that we build. My entire life, I wanted to be a part of other people's communities. And I always found that I used to have to start the communities myself. And that was scary for somebody who just kind of liked to hang out by themselves, but knew how important it was to have friends, to feel like you're included, when in other aspects of your life, you feel like an outsider or you feel rejected or dejected in your own experience. That, community is important. And I'm grateful for those communities, right? Those one or two people who on occasion would, right, hang out with me, walk the path with me for a little while, that we enjoyed each other's company. And I thought no ill will to any of them. And I swear, if any of them ever came across my path and I saw them again, I'd fly so hard into their arms because, right, that's one thing I did. I picked well for myself, right? Because they alleviated the heaviness in what I didn't know was going on. Now I know a little bit better. Got a few tools on my belt, right? That I'm able to make a little bit more. But that's the momentum, right? Because I started in baby steps. It took me a year to even come in front of the camera. I was just all background noise, right? And here I am. And maybe it's not perfect, but it's in that imperfectness that people will get to know me enough that maybe they'll give me a shot, even if you're that person too that doesn't have that belief, that it's something that you need to grow into too, because belief is out there. There's no question, right? No question. There is those aspects in our universe, in our world, in our own lives, right? That we can believe in. But sometimes when we get beaten down every once in a while, we forget that. We forget that. Or we become so hyper vigilant that when we see it, we don't even give it a chance, even when we know that it's the truth. Community. Community is just those one or two people that you hold dear to yourself, that you would trust with your word, that you would trust with your heart, you would trust with your safety, right? And you would trust in your companionship, that as much as you would have their back, they would have yours too. That's a great kind of community. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a big one, right? But you'll feel it out in the baby steps, because the baby steps, right, is the prerequisite to the next lesson, right? Okay, you guys, community. I did it. I'm out of here. Going to start my work day, last day of my job that puts the roof over my head. I'm going to stop right now and send out some good cheer to the fire engines and the paramedics to make sure they get to their destination. Let's hope it's a false alarm and they can turn around and go back to the station and fire up that barbecue. Okay, you guys, have a great day, and we'll see you on Monday. If we don't see you on Sunday, because I have my show Chatters Live, but if you come in Wednesday night, that's my 10-year anniversary. I would love to have you. Okay, bye-bye.